Where Pumpkaboo is the Halloween Pokemon in visuals, Gourgeist is the true Halloween Pokemon in spirit. It'll strangle its victims in its hair and sing as it observes their suffering, leeching their life force, even disguising themselves as humans in order to drag others into the afterlife. All of this diabolical behavior from this cutie? That leads to the question, how might it behave after taking over some other dubious plants? The classic Halloween carved vegetable, our little turnip. Sinister Pumpkaboo, when exposed to a dusk stone, evolves into Sinister Gourgeist, the turnip Pokemon. It is known to silently wander the streets in the dead of night, scaring away ominous spirits with a scream unheard by humans. It is important to avoid it if seen, however, as this silent scream is rumored to be able to scare your spirit out of your physical body. So the plant that once used to scare spirits now scares the very soul out of your body. So the ghost and dark types. They're spooky dooky evil, but what about the rest of them? Given that they're all grass types, we might as well get this out of the way now. Give Mundane Pumpkaboo a grass stone, and it evolves into Mundane Gourgeist, the gourd Pokemon. It hides in crop fields, emitting screams mimicking someone in trouble. When unsuspecting strangers get too close, it ensnares them in its hay-like hair and absorbs their life force. It has a heavy dislike of birds, which often break its disguise. Nothing mundane about it anymore, eh? Intentionally misleading disguise in order to ensnare its prey.
But Deadbedspread,
I hear you screaming, crying, pissing, and shitting.
how can they be ominous, spooky, dastardly, or evil without being ghost or dark type?
Au contraire, my friend. Plenty of Pokemon are plenty ominous, spooky, dastardly, evil without being these types. Also, it's a scarecrow. Scarecrow. And it dislikes birds. Flying is good against grass, it makes sense. Speaking of flying, you can maybe teach Floating Pumpkaboo fly. Maybe you could level it up during a sky battle. You know, those completely aerial battles that we were introduced to and also haven't seen since X and Y 10 years ago. Anyway, Floating Pumpkaboo evolves into Plantaloon, the tomato Pokemon. Its rubbery body is filled with light gas that allows it to float. It uses vines from its hands to sling 2 volatile tomatoes, using them similarly to balloons and yo-yos. It has been known to grab people and fly away, never to be seen again.
But Deadbedspread,
I hear you yelling, wailing, peeing, and pooping.
this is a Gourgeist of every type.
Okay, look, yes, I did say Gourgeist of every type because I couldn't just call the video Alternate Pumpkaboo Evolution / Gourgeist variants of every type, legit confirmed real wow Halloween spooks. Besides, there are plenty of illogical things with Pokemon names. Alolan Sandshrew has nothing to do with sand. The Galarian legendary birds are apparently completely different Pokemon to the originals, but for some reason are just classed as regional forms. And all of these Pokemon are alternate forms, yet Silcoon and Cascoon are 2 separate Pokemon. Some are Gourgeist, some of their own things, but they are all Pumpkaboo evolutions. Anyway, time to float. Plants are stupid. Throw rocks at them. Level up durable Pumpkaboo atop any mountain, and it'll evolve into durable Gourgeist, the Rockmelon Pokemon. It wanders the mountains in search of the perfect rocks to throw, which it stores in its hair. It has been observed chucking stones at bird Pokemon with eerie precision. It sings with glee while throwing members of the Geodude family. Gourgeist has these long arms, so you bet they'd be really good for chucking things, especially rocks. You know, it's a cool Pokemon the more I look at it. It's very outwardly feminine to contrast Trevenant's masculine energy, yet both are an equal 50-50 gender split. It's one of my favourite things in Pokemon, not being bound by appearance. One of my least favourite things in Pokemon are unique items that exist to literally evolve one Pokemon and do literally nothing else. Like really, you couldn't just double up on some of these for some newer mons to take advantage of, or even give them some in-battle effects if held normally? The Dragon Scale has been in the game for over 20 years and only evolves Seadra. It has no secondary effect. What the hell? As you could probably guess, give Arcane Pumpkaboo a Dragon Scale and it evolves into Gluttonfruit, the Dragon Fruit Pokemon. Its upper reptilian body seems incredibly friendly, however its arms are strong enough to bend steel with ease. The lower body controls where it moves, and has much more devious plans in mind. When it screams, it roars. Literally. There's really no way to say this mon's name without doing a baby voice, which I kinda love. Hey yeah man, I heard Gluttonfruit is the new meta. Yeah, hey bro, I have a Dipplin, do you wanna trade it for my Gluttonfruit? It also works pretty well in contrasting its doofy looks with its sinister nature. And speaking of contrasting doofy and sinister, monsters and mad scientists go hand in hand, shocking their creations into existence. Of course, with that much electricity involved, accidents do happen. Give Shocked Pumpkaboo a Thunderstone, and it'll evolve into Citrus Shock, the Lemon Battery Pokemon. Its hair stands on end due to the massive amount of static electricity it stores. Its body is highly magnetic, yanking jewelry from anyone within range, resulting in injuries from those not prepared. Its presence disrupts and corrupts electronic equipment. The entire electromagnetic spectrum at its command, and it's a lemon. God, I love Pokemon. Instead of shocking your body, how about messing with your mind? An unholy fusion like some sort of mad scientist creation, Psychedelic Pumpkaboo, when exposed to a big mushroom, evolves into Sporvoyant, the mushroom Pokemon. Its upper eyes lull its prey into a manipulative state before its lower eye hypnotizes them. It's said to be able to accurately predict the future for whomever it meets, but it's debated whether this is true or if the Pokemon is manipulating their actions without them realizing. It's like a fortune teller, psychic mushroom magician. You know, like a magic mushroom. Maybe they got all dizzy because they stared at the sun for just a little bit too long. You know, the sun is pretty hot. Peppers are also hot. Wow. As is this variant's temper. Little fiery hothead. Give Scorching Pumpkaboo a Firestone, and it'll evolve into Halavoleno, the spicy pepper Pokemon. It produces abhorrently spicy seeds from its peppery hands, floating away due to their incredible heat and incinerating whatever they land on. It slithers across the ground to capture its prey, which will cause it to laugh in delight as it burns it to a crisp. I mean, yeah, it's just a hot-tempered demon that releases burning fury from its hands. What else did you expect? Taking things from fire to firearms, we head to the hot, scorching desert. One lone Pumpkaboo, protecting the country he loves. Yeehaw, cowboy. If you happen to find a prickly Pumpkaboo in the desert and keep it there until it happens to level up during a sandstorm, it'll evolve into Parif. Yeehaw, cowboy! The cactus pear Pokemon. Adapting to the harsh desert life has made it volatile. Where it aims to enact justice and treat everyone with fairness, it is often overwhelmed by its urges and opens fire on everything within range. Its spines are capable of piercing stainless steel. Not even the law enforcement good guy hero type evolution is safe. I guess all the Pumpkaboo are cute on the outside, but they're all harboring insane spite within their cute little heads. This guy'll just shoot you. And what is being shot if not being impaled by a bullet? You know, it low-key annoys me that the whole, special magnetic field evolution method was just replaced by using a Thunderstone. Probopass isn't even electric type. Maybe a Magnet Stone, anyone? Anyway, use a metal coat on Spiky Pumpkaboo, and it'll evolve into Maydurian, the Iron Maiden Pokemon. It is able to extend and retract its spikes at will. Their arms are sharp to the touch, and their bodies nigh impenetrable. It wraps its prey up in its impaling arms, draining their life force until all that remains is a dried out husk. Just like the mummies of old, its steely determination fuels its cold iron heart. What if you couldn't run from this? What if you were just frozen in place from fear? Or just frozen in general? Expose Frozen Pumpkaboo to an Ice Stone, and it evolves into Frigigord, the Wintermelon Pokemon. The upper body shows no signs of sentience, only moving once the lower body has noticed something. It freezes and displays its prey like statues of ice, almost like itself. That is, if it hasn't undone them first with its perilous icicles. Being frozen to death is, it's pretty high up there on, the worst ways to go. It's either that, burning alive, or, drowning. Speaking of drowning, give Buoyant Pumpkaboo a Water Stone, and it evolves into Lamelona, the Drown Melon Pokemon. Where its pre-evolved form helps people stay afloat, Lamelona will drown anyone that gets too close. Its vine-like arms are capable of holding a copious amount of water. It cries constantly. For what reason? No one knows. So yeah, you're just out swimming and then this melon swamp creature grabs you. It's a master of water. You're not escaping. But what if you got pulled underground instead? Well, use a big root on Earthy Pumpkaboo. It's a root vegetable. And it'll evolve into Zombedo, the potato Pokemon. It rises from the ground on nights of a new moon. Once a target is selected, it pursues it slowly yet relentlessly, before inevitably pulling them down into the very earth it once rose from. Its body is covered with eyes. If you are able to see it, it's able to see you. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a potato zombie. I have mashed potato brain. I guess 1845 must have been a particularly productive year for this species. But what if you survived being pulled underground by Zombedo? If you think that we would even stand a chance in the subterranean world, you have no idea. You think that we're the most populous creature on the planet at 8 billion? Not even close. There are estimated to be in and around 10 quintillion bugs on Earth. A number so massive it's literally impossible to comprehend. We are hopelessly, hilariously outbugged. So where I was complaining earlier about the special magnetic fields being replaced with thunderstones and mons not being electric type, the sunstone kinda comes in clutch. It causes many plant-based Pokemon to bloom, and even Helioptile to evolve because of its heavy association with the sun. I really like the range of these non-type specific stones. Like, should the Thunderstone just be renamed the Magnet Stone? You know, I've already said this, I'm getting sidetracked. Expose infested Pumpkaboo to a sunstone and you're greeted with Bugabloom, the Fig Wasp Pokemon. It has a ravenous appetite, consuming anything that it sets its mind to. The head and body function independently to one another, however they are never more focused than when hunting down a meal. This Pumpkaboo was already a conglomerate creature. There's no way it would evolve into an ordinary Gourgeist. Its bug body bursts through its fig casing, covered in blooming flowers from the interior. Hey, it's a bug that it blooms! I had a friend once who left like a juice box on the floor and just forgot about it. Bugs love sugar. So you already know that led to an ant infestation. You know who else loves sugar? Human beings! And Pixie Pumpkaboo. Give it any sugar-based item and it'll evolve into Tooth Scary, the Sugar Plum Pokemon. Its body is laden with a massive amount of sugar, which it gives out freely in hopes to rot people's teeth, causing them to fall out and giving itself a snack. If all else fails, it will resort to using its claws to get what it desires. A tooth fairy that actively rots your teeth? Sign me off, get me the fuck out of here. Ain't no smiling plump freak stealing my teeth. I'm sufficiently spooked. Let's wrap this up. The Poison Apple. Created by the Evil Queen after she takes on the appearance of a wicked witch. So, why should we be any different? Give Witching Pumpkaboo a syrupy apple, and it evolves into Toxic Queen, the Poison Apple Pokemon. Its undulating movements constantly stir the harmful substance within its cauldron apple body. It uses this vile concoction to down and melt its prey for easier consumption. Its claws are dipped in the substance, allowing for quick infection when slashing. Witch's Cauldron? Pointy hat? Flowing hair? Tipped nails? Huh. It's the Queen Witch bitch. And, well, there they are. Here they are. Oh, fuck. Go to hell. Oh my god, thank you, pal. I thought I was honored. Yummy. Happy Halloween.